There was a time in my sobriety when believing in the wrong God could have taken me out. And it's not because I didn't believe, but because the God I believed in couldn't even survive real life. Welcome to a spiritual remedy, beloveds. My name is Sunshine Day, and we provide spiritual support for people in recovery. I got sober in the late 1980s during the height of the AIDS pandemic, and every week somebody that I knew was dying, and some weeks more than one. And the God that I had been taught about, the judging God, the punishing God, the God who rewards the good and punishes the bad. Well, that image of God and a higher power began to collapse because the message that I was hearing, and sometimes directly hearing, and sometimes indirectly hearing, or quietly being implied, was that God was punishing gay people and that God was punishing drug addicts, people like me. And I want to be very, very clear. I couldn't stay sober. I couldn't stay clean and keep believing that. The cost was just too high, and my peace of mind began to unravel one more time. My idea of God began to unravel one more time. My love of God began wavering one more time, and compassion was being replaced with fear and separation. And at some point, I had to tell the truth. If God looks like cruelty and blame and abandonment, then something's wrong with this picture. So I let go. And I didn't let go of God, but I had to let go of the idea of God that just didn't work. And letting go wasn't about rebellion. It was honesty. It was spiritual maturity, and it was what allowed me to stay sober and to continue to help others. See, any idea of God that requires me to turn away from love or dignity or humanity is not worth my recovery. So, here's a spiritual remedy. I want to offer you a simple practice that you can do right now. Ready? Take a slow breath and silently complete this statement. The God I was taught to fear looked like. And just complete that sentence. No judging, no fixing. Just notice. Just notice the God that I was taught to fear looked like. Now take another slow breath and ask this question. What did that cost me? What did this belief cost me? Did it cost me my peace? Did it cost me my safety, my honesty, my love? And finally, if you're comfortable, place your hand on your heart and say quietly, I'm allowed to release what no longer supports my life. I'm allowed to release what no longer supports my life. And stay there for a moment. I'm allowed to release what no longer supports my life. If the God that you were taught brings you shame or fear or the feeling that you had to disappear to be accepted, you're not broken, beloved. You may have just simply outgrown an image of God that couldn't hold your lived experience. Letting go is not a total loss. As a matter of fact, it's not a loss at all. It's space. And sometimes the most spiritual thing you could do is create space for yourself and for a new idea of spirit, a loving God to emerge right where you are. So, if you like this message and you want some more, visit me at vidaslc.org.